While we're waiting for the Epstein files vote, there's another battle going on that may be a little more under the radar. Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome to Attraction Manifestors. My name is Lynn Mayu. I'm an intuitive and I use manifestation techniques to solve social, political, and economic problems, currently focusing on ending fascism in the United States of America. And this is Chicky Wing. Chicky Wing, you want to say hi to everybody? I know you don't, but we're going to. Yeah, you're so cute. Okay, so today in Broadview, Illinois, which is where they have been doing regular protests outside of the ICE facility, including these faith-based demonstrations, pastors were doing it. The mayor of Broadview declared a state of emergency in the city, and the news stories about it are very vague. They're saying that she declared a state of emergency because of the protests, threats of violence and intimidation, bomb threats and death threats that they received. And my question is, who's making these bomb threats? Who's making these death threats? In addition, last Friday, there's a news article, and I'm going to link both of these articles below here. It says at least 7 faith leaders were arrested at ICE facility protests on Friday, November 15th. I want to get into, because I feel like and the Epstein files is a very important thing. I don't want to distract from that. In fact, we did manifest that. I did that video a couple weeks ago, and it was like, boom, the shutdown ended, and now that is moving forward. But I want to get into this Broadview situation for 2 reasons. For one, freedom of religion, for us to have that. And for number 2, for I just feel like something fishy is going on underneath the surface. I don't know, any of us who've been protesting against ICE, violent threats haven't really been the way of doing it. So I'm not sure who has called in these bomb threats, who's making the death threats against the mayor. None of the news sources were specific about it. Fox News said the threats were made by protesters, but Fox News doesn't even legally have the right to call themselves news. So what are we going to do? All right. I want to read the article from Religion News Service about the faith leaders being arrested. I will link it, but I'm going to read it. Okay, so the headline says at least 7 faith leaders arrested at Broadview ICE facility protests. I've got bruises all over my body. The Reverend Michael Wolf, who was thrown to the ground and arrested by police, told RNS. I believe that's the same guy who was shot by the, doesn't look like the same guy, but I thought it was the same guy. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. This is an article by Jack Jenkins on November 15th, 2025. In video recorded on Friday, November 14th, outside the embattled U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Broadview, Illinois, the Reverend Michael Wolf stands alongside fellow protesters, fiddling awkwardly with his backpack as faith leaders and other protesters chant slogans at a line of police officers. A moment later, one officer can be seen walking forward, grabbing Wolf by the wrist and yanking. Demonstrators attempted to hold on to Wolf, who was wearing a clerical collar, but 4 officers wrenched him from the crowd and tossed him to the ground. After turning him onto his stomach, officers proceeded to arrest Wolf and removed him to the Cook County Sheriff's Office in Maywood, Illinois. I've got bruises all over my body, Wolf, an American Baptist minister who was pastor of Lake Street Church of Evanston, Illinois, told Religion News Service. He was speaking in his first interview since being released Friday afternoon after about 7 hours in custody. Wolf said when he asked the arresting officers to loosen the plastic handcuffs that were causing his hands to go numb, an officer replied, "Nobody wants to talk to you, shut the fuck up." It's part of the dehumanizing nature of it, and it gives me a lot of clarity about what's happening here, said Wolf, who has been active in protests against ICE. It's really a spiritual emergency. Footage and images of Wolf's arrest were shared widely on the internet on Friday, drawing attention to the demonstration at the ICE facility, where protests have become commonplace in recent weeks. Organizers said at least 100 faith leaders of various faith and denominations came to the Broadview facility, providing a climax to religious pushback to Operation Midway Blitz, a mass deportation effort that has rounded up hundreds of undocumented immigrants and other Chicago residents since it was launched in September. Recent reports say that many immigration agents who have been operating in the city, particularly U.S. Border Patrol officers, are being transferred to Charlotte, North Carolina. Cook County Police said 21 people were arrested at the demonstration, all but one of whom were charged with obstruction, disorderly conduct, pedestrian walking on highways. Participants said at least 7 of those arrested were faith leaders from Presbyterian, Lutheran, Baptist, Unitarian, Universalist, and Jewish traditions. The Department of Homeland Security's X feed seemed to mock the protest participants in an X post on Friday, saying, "Womp womp, cry all you want, these criminal illegal aliens aren't getting released." The post called the demonstrators violent rioters and imbecilic morons who need to get a job. Asked about the DHS statement, Wolf said he and other protesters were demanding constitutional and due process rights for detainees, adding, "I believe that justice will come in this life or the next. I know which side I choose. I choose the gospel," he added. "This is our job," said the Reverend Christina Sinks, a United Methodist pastor who helped organize a worship service in reply to the DHS post. Sinks also rejected the suggestion that demonstrators were violent. She later explained via text message that she believes it is the job of clergy to advocate for the oppressed, the vulnerable, and those dehumanized by any forces of evil and oppression. Sinks added, "Why does DHS feel threatened by clergy praying? What are they hiding?" In a statement sent to RNS Saturday evening, DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin dismissed inquiries about remarks from Wolf and Sinks as a ridiculous line of questioning. She then insisted that you can clearly see rioters attacking police in the video. McLaughlin did not specify which video she was referring to. "We will always condemn lawlessness and violence against law enforcement," McLaughlin said. "We urge faith leaders across the country to do the same." Organizers called the protest one of the largest in a series of demonstrations at the Broadview site, many of which have been led by religious leaders who federal authorities are mistreating the detainees at the facility. The treatment of the detainees is the subject of an ongoing class action lawsuit. Sinks said faith leaders begin Friday with a multi-faith service outside the Broadview facility to bear witness to the suffering inside the facility. The participants held daily hygiene products, bread, and clean water to symbolize needs not met by the government agents who run the facility. Faith leaders from various traditions, Christian, Jewish, Hindu, and others, then presented police with a letter from clergy offering spiritual care to the detainees. Organizers, Sinks said, sent DHS an identical letter a week before. Offers of pastoral care and communion for detainees at the facility have been offered multiple times, only to be rebuffed as they were on Friday. Religious leaders have raised the issue as a religious freedom concern, with U.S. Catholic bishops backed by comments by Pope Leo XIV condemning authorities for depriving detainees of sacraments, something some religious leaders have been allowed to do in the past. After clergy were denied access again on Friday, video footage from the protest posted on social media showed Wolf and other faith leaders attempting to approach the facility, marching arm in arm. The demonstrators were quickly mobbed by police, who began pushing them back. A short time later, police began arresting demonstrators. Several faith leaders at the demonstration expressed shock at the intensity of the police response. The Reverend Quincy Worthington, a Presbyterian Church USA minister who has been active in protests against ICE, was in the crowd on Friday, said he tried to help up people who had fallen or pushed down, who were being crushed or beaten. Similarly, the Reverend Hannah Cardin, a United Methodist minister who had been thrown to the ground and arrested at a previous demonstration in Broadview, said in a text message that she saw overwhelming and unnecessary violence from multiple police forces at the facility. "I saw knees on necks," she wrote. "I saw people pulled and dragged. I saw people slammed to the ground. Faith leaders were brutalized today for wanting to offer spiritual care to their stolen neighbors. It was horrific." Clergy have been vocal critics of Operation Midway Blitz since it began and said they have been repeatedly met with force by federal, state, and local police forces. At least 5 local clergy, including Wolf, Cardin, and Worthington, said they have been shot with pepper balls. fired by Department of Homeland Security forces. Footage of agents shooting the Reverend David Black, a Presbyterian minister from Chicago, in the head with pepper balls is widely shared on social media. That's the guy who I was thinking of before. But as state and local police have become the main force guarding the facility in recent weeks, activists have accused Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, a critic of Trump and his mass deportation policies, of protecting ICE agents. The treatment of faith-based protesters is part of the class action lawsuit, as well as a separate case that includes Black as a plaintiff. The latter case resulted in a temporary restraining order limiting federal agents' ability to use violence against protesters, including religious practitioners. Wolf said that after he was arrested, he and other participants continued to pray and worship during the hours they were detained together. They sang songs such as "We Shall Overcome," and some even recited poetry. The pastor added that he has been reflecting on the dehumanizing nature of this experience, but that the cruelty that goes on at that facility must be 100 times worse. This post has been updated to include a statement from DHS. Okay, so first of all, I want to say God bless the faith leaders who are fighting back against this regime. What is faith if not speaking truth to power and acknowledging the higher power that is above every power in this physical world, in this 3D world? And that is where we're going with this net right now. So will begin manifesting. God bless every faith leader who is risking themselves to be on the side of right, who is risking themselves to be aligned with God in this moment, to protect the vulnerable, to demand an end to oppression, and to do the things that Jesus would do, whatever it is, whether it's these faith leaders protesting at Broadview or wherever they are in the world. People who are helping and not harming, let them be protected, and let their cause be made widespread, made something that everyone will know about. Let their cause become widespread, let them be protected from any harm, and let the battle be won in Jesus' name. May it be so. So, this thing about the state of emergency in Broadview, I'll read the article. Let me see. I have it on WTTW. It says Broadview mayor issues civil emergency order amid threats, escalating protests outside ICE facility. Broadview's mayor has declared a civil emergency following a series of serious and credible threats made against village officials and increasing protests outside an immigration and customs enforcement facility in the western suburb. Mayor Katrina Thompson on Monday issued the declaration after she said a group of out-of-town protesters and non-Broadview residents allegedly attempted to storm Broadview's Village Hall on Saturday. I will not allow threats of violence or intimidation to disrupt the essential functions of our government, she said in the statement, and I will not allow other elected officials, Village Hall staff, or residents to be placed in harm's way, which is why I signed a civil emergency executive order to ensure that we can conduct the public's business securely and without fear of violence. According to the village, a specific death threat was also made against Thompson on October 13th, and a bomb threat targeting the Village Hall was phoned in on September 4th. Tensions in the suburban village have been rising for months as protesters have flocked to demonstrations held at ICE's Immigration Center, where thousands of detainees have been held and processed amid the Trump administration's ongoing Midway Blitz immigration enforcement operation. Thompson last month signed an executive order shrinking a designated protest area outside the ICE facility after she said previous demonstrations degenerated into chaos. 21 protesters were arrested outside the facility last Friday, and multiple law enforcement personnel were injured, including 2 Broadview police officers, an Illinois State Police trooper, and a Cook County Sheriff deputy. Doesn't say who injured them. It says, since ICE's Midway Blitz and subsequent intensifying protests began, Thompson said, the serious, incredible bomb and death threats and the threat to disrupt the village government has left me with no alternative but to declare a civil emergency in Broadview. The order will allow for the flexibility necessary for conducting essential in-person meetings, according to the statement. Well, there is definitely, I mean, this is like, whew. This is this is completely predictable. I mean, they're trying to protect themselves against the consequences of the wrong that they're doing. And not that Broadview's mayor is doing wrong. It's not that that's happening, but wow, it's a mess. It's just a mess, just a clusterfuck. And what I'm manifesting here is that this energy around this ICE in Chicago and ICE in our country, let it come to a head. Let ICE be taken out. Let them be taken out. If they're going to do like normal immigration enforcement, fine, but this crazy mass deportation, ethnic cleansing that's taking place, that must come to an end. Let that come to an end today in Jesus' name. Let that be ended. So that's what we're manifesting here. All right, let's see where we're at. This cat is so cute. She's just putting her paws all over me. She's adorable. Anyway, Chicky Wing, are you manifesting with us, my baby? Yes. Okay. Let's get into the energy. Let's get into the energy that is around this ICE protest, counter-protest, all of the battles that are going on. Let's see what's going on and what's meant to happen, what the universe intends to happen, and what we can do. How about that? What do you think about that, Chicky Wing? All right. Okay. I'm going to pull cards, I think, if I can find them. Not easy to shuffle cards. Oh wait, I can do it up here. I'll do it where that computer used to be. So that's what we'll do. Yeah, I want to know what is happening in spiritual reality. I've been wanting to shoot this video for days because the minute that I saw that the pastors were being arrested, I said, oh, there is some demonic activity underfoot. On that note, I think it's pretty fucking hypocritical. And I wish I found, like, that article that I read doesn't say, like, there was another one that said, like, this is a state facility and you have no right to religious expression here. So that seemed wrong to me. Especially, I mean, this administration has been, like, very much trying to be about pro-Christian, Christian nationalism. I can't imagine the Christian nationalists being against Christian leaders being allowed to pray on state property. I can't imagine that. So, but it's just really like, I mean, we know like how this administration operates. Everything is used only when it suits them. So they want to have the prayer and the 10 Commandments in the public schools, but not when they're the ones who are going against God. So there we are. Cards are not shuffling the best, but we're going to have to do what we can with it. Yeah, I want to know, so first of all, about freedom of religion, how to uphold that in our country, and then where this ICE situation is going. This ICE situation, freedom of religion, like as we come upon this vote for the Epstein files, And as ICE is going to now Charlotte, North Carolina, and like other cities, yeah, what is the energy? What is the energy around all of this, and where are we going with it? Well, let's start. The Ace of Swords and the Three of Cups reversed. So they're taking a firm hand to do legal action, and this is against the spirit of collaboration, the spirit of cooperation that many of us would prefer to have in our nation. So how about that to start this reading off? All right. So here, all right, one more shuffle, and we're going to make it happen. Boom. Okay. Our current situation is the Knight of Cups. There are brave people going with the love that is in their heart, the love and compassion, going forward, charging forward with it, but charging forward alone. I mean, it's not that many people. I haven't been able to make it because I have to work every Friday. I mean, maybe I will take PTO and do it one of these times, maybe even this week. Whew. So these people are alone in this, but they're doing the right thing. They're doing what they feel is right. Yeah, they're doing what they feel is right. All right. Challenge is temperance reversed. Because there is no temperance, there's no moderation. These government is really doing whatever the F they want, and the egregiousness of it is the point. So we're talking about doing right, but the wrong is so egregious. The goal is the Two of Wands. It's like we're desiring for our passionate actions to bear fruit. Looking towards a possibility for a better future, but we really don't have that much ammunition right now. The people protesting in Broadview, they don't have enough ammunition. There's really not enough behind them. I mean, when you look at Jimmy Kimmel got canceled and everybody went boom, like into action immediately. But against these ICE raids, there's not enough, or there has not been enough support. Well, may it be so that there will be. Let there be an awakening of that support for the people of this country who are being unjustly disappeared by ICE and CBP. Let there be a mass awakening of support for them in every way to support what is right here. Okay. The subconscious influences is the Emperor. It's DJT. It's not DJT. It's Stephen Miller behind him doing whatever, like influencing, like whatever the F they want, they get. In the past, this was a horrible, stressful situation, or they made it out to be a horrible situation. The fact that there are actually 21 million undocumented immigrants in this country, and they've made it out to be this horrible thing, like these are the rapists, these are the murderers, these are killing American citizens. The truth is that there are 8 billion people on this planet. They got to go somewhere. And every country is saying, no, not here. They can't come here. But the fact is there are a lot more people on the planet than there ever were. And every society is going to have to make room for them. So this demographic population like situation has been made into a existential threat when that's really not what it is. It really is just there are too many people. Maybe there are not too many people. Maybe there's just the right number of people if we would learn to get along with each other and like live in harmony and peace. May it be so that the 8 billion people on this planet, or however many people, even as the population increases, that we find a way to live in peace and to share resources equitably so that no one is without and no one has to leave their country if they don't want to. Because it could be, I mean, honestly, they're coming here because we have fucked their countries, so it's like, here, I'm going to do bad things to people and like hide from the consequences. I fucking hate that. I'm tired of it. That deserves to be exposed. May it be exposed. May it be so. All right, so that's in the past. In the future, got a naked card again. The moon, things that are hidden will come to be revealed. Oh, that's interesting. All right. I wonder if that's happening because we're manifesting it. Oh, we'll see. We will see. But whatever the energies behind this. Yeah, because this mass deportation effort is really not about the criminals and the worst of the worst, because otherwise they would be actually targeting criminals. It's about something else. Maybe it's not about racism. Maybe it's something else that I haven't thought about. But whatever it is, it's going to be known. It will be known. Let it be known. May it be known in Jesus' name. All right. Where we find ourselves as a magician, we can manifest this. Anyone who's watching this video, like, you have the power. You can manifest it in the direction that you desire. If you just speak it into being. You like try it for like every day for a month. You will be shocked. If every morning you just speak an intention for one thing that you desire to have happen, either in your own life or in the political world situation, like speak it in the morning, write it down, and at the end of the month, like look at what you have put into play and see like where it has gone. I think that we can change the world this way. I would love to see more of us doing it. I know that there's that channel Manifest Magically with Trevor and Ann. They're doing it. They're doing the same wavelength, or not the same wavelength, but the same mission, like manifesting for this world situation. I love that. I want to see more of us doing it. Love that. By the way, November 20th through the 22nd is a protest called Remove the Regime, which will be taking place in Washington, D.C. November 19th, which will be that Wednesday night before that, I will be doing a new moon ritual. We'll be manifesting for the success of the protest, for whatever else we want to put into being in this new moon. I will put the Zoom links in the community section. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll do that. This is not we went to where we find ourselves. Views of others, the 6 of Cups. Why can't you just help each other? I feel like this is like God and the angels like looking at our country being like, when are you going to figure out that I said love one another and just help each other? Instead of doing all this, the amount of money that's put into the budget for ICE, like, do you know, like, we could just help these people. And when you help people in such a way that they learn to help themselves, because the thing is that sometimes what we do with our government and the the welfare programs often is deterring people from helping themselves. We need to figure out how to help people in such a way, because people have the human nature, you desire to do good for yourself. Like, people desire to work. People want to make the world a better place. They want to work hard and gain from their labor. But we've made a world where you can't gain from your labor, or it's very hard to gain from your labor, and where like it almost like pays off to be in this dependency. It's just very not how it should be. But maybe we'll figure out how to help each other in a way that was really positive and just adds to the life of the world with everything we do. Let's manifest that. Let it be so that we as a nation, we as a society, learn to help each other in ways that are sustainable and create prosperity for everyone. In Jesus' name, may it be so. Let it be done. Okay. The hopes and fears in this is a chariot. So we are afraid that this government is just going to run roughshod over everybody. But this chariot is also like the way that those faith leaders like basically were about to storm the facility before the police took them. And they're like, look, we are like worshiping our God by doing this. We're doing what's right. So there is the fearlessness of charging into danger, but there's also the wickedness of charging forward to oppress others. So both of these things are occurring. Like we got the white and the black sphinxes too. This is so cool. I love this card. That's very cool. All right. The outcome here is going to be the Nine of Cups reversed. This one always makes me think about the Supreme Court. I don't know if the Supreme Court is going to rule. The Supreme Court was going to rule on the ICE report. It seems like it's going to rule badly. Okay, well let's go with that. But before we go with that, let me find the book and see what else it says. Because the Nine of Cups actually means something different. Like I just always take it as a Supreme Court. So, Nine of Cups. Treat yourself. You've been killing it lately, and you deserve a nice reward after your success and accomplishment. Throw a party, buy yourself something nice, have a spa day, do something you want to only for you, show yourself the love you deserve. Of course, that was reversed, so I don't know if it's saying F you. I feel like that outcome is a F you, so you know what? That is why we're here, because that outcome is not what we desire. And I had this, I knew that was important for me to do this video today. I'm sorry, like for my lack of preparation, this is going to be very rambly, but we are manifesting and it's live and it is messy sometimes. So we're going to change the outcome because that is what we're here for. We have power. We have agency. Remember the magician. We can change this. So we're going to change it right now. So may it be so that we get a positive outcome, that we get justice, real justice. I'm going to turn this Supreme Court card upside down. How do we get justice? That is my question. How do we get justice in this situation? All right, I'm going to put this back to where it was. How do we get justice? I'm not going to shuffle again, but I'm just going to put these cards in here and boom. How do we get justice? I'm going to draw however many cards it takes to clarify. The Queen of Cups. People, open your heart. Get in contact with your emotions. Get in contact with the humanity that we share. Get in contact with your own humanity. Understand the humanity of all of us. May it be so that there's a mass awakening of humanity, people getting in contact with their own humanity and the humanity of others, that we may move toward justice, that no one will look the other way at harm being done to vulnerable people in our nation, which is the richest nation in the world, where we have everything we need for the most part. Boom. All right, next, maybe 3 cards. Ace of Pentacles reversed. Stop focusing so hard on money and material things. Love is more important than money. You can get more from love than you ever did from money. Money is a tool is not the be-all and end-all of life. If you would, as a whole, as a society, like, seek love and seek to solve problems using love, these problems might just solve themselves. That might be how we get justice. And then the Hierophant reversed. Let our institutions, which have been built in a certain way that emphasized money over love, let these institutions be turned around. And this is, we're going to manifest here. So may the institutions of the United States of America from this day forward be turned around in such a way that we will be serving love over money, and that becomes a new ethos of our nation. Let it be done today. In Jesus' name, let it be done. Well, I feel like this has actually set us up for the Epstein Files vote, so that's exciting. Wow, what a manifestation. Let's see where we're at. Is this done? Is it manifest? We're going to have justice, love over money, a complete change in our government. This is really exciting. I'm really excited about this. Well, may it be done in Jesus' name. I'm going to post this video up with the links to those articles, and we're going to see what happens. I'm really interested to see what happens with this Epstein vote. Yeah. And I think I need to do another video because I know that he's trying to do some, well, we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it, whatever he does in reaction to the Epstein Files. Maybe it's just going to fizzle out and fail because enough is enough, and we're rising all the way up. So happy manifesting. Thank you for being here, and have a great night. Love you all.